I had a client who thought they can save money by filing their own taxes, but they ended up paying me more to fix the mess that they made. Hey there, I'm Chika. I'm a CPA with over 16 years of experience. So if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the tax and business gems that I drop here weekly. So today we're answering the question that everyone tends to ask me when it's time for tax filing season. The question is, should I file my taxes myself or hire a CPA? That's the question I'm answering today. Let's get into it. All right. So here's the thing. I'm a CPA, so obviously I do have a bias. CPAs are amazing, but I also know that not everyone needs a CPA. And I'm not here to tell you that you have to hire a CPA to be a good business owner, because it's not true. Some of you can absolutely file your own taxes and you'll be fine. But other of you, you're going to mess it up, or you're going to leave money on the table, or you're going to stress yourself out for no reason. So let's figure out which group you are in. So here's where it makes sense to file your own taxes. There's four things. Number one, your tax situation is straightforward. You're a sole proprietor or you own your own LLC, or also you have one income source. The income source is your business, or maybe you have two income sources, your business and maybe you have a W-2 as well. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have any employees. You don't have a complicated business structure such as a corporation, S Corp, C Corp, partnership, all those things. So basically, if your taxes are simple, then you can probably handle it yourself. Number two, you're organized. You got to be an organized person when it comes to filing your taxes. And what that looks like is you've been tracking your income and expenses all year. You have receipts, you have your financial reports, your spreadsheets, your records, whatever you keep, it's all tracked. It's all ready to go. You know what you made, you know how much you spent, and you're confident that you can file it yourself. You can input the numbers yourself. And so if that's you, then filing your taxes is completely doable. Number three, you're okay with using tax software. So software such as TurboTax, H&R Block, the other one, Free Tax USA, those software, they're designed to walk you through the process step by step. They ask you questions, you answer those questions, and they generate your tax return, right? They put all the information on the form. So if you're comfortable with following instructions, you're good at that, you can click through those prompts, then of course you'll be fine. It's pretty straightforward. However, let's be honest with yourself. Some of y'all just want to get through it. You blindly answer the questions, you glaze over the questions, you're not even reading the questions. Now, if you know this is you, if I'm talking about you, then maybe think twice before you file your own tax return, because answering even just one question incorrectly can make a huge difference in how much you end up owing, or if you end up receiving a notice in the mail from the IRS. And we don't want those problems. So if you're just rushing through it, then maybe it's not a good idea for you to file your taxes. Number four, if you don't mind doing the work. So filing your taxes, it takes time. You want to be diligent about it. It might take a few hours. It might take more than that, especially if you're not organized, right? You're still trying to gather your documents, put all your numbers together. So if you don't mind doing the work, if you don't mind sitting down, figuring it out, then you can actually save money by hiring someone. For you, like doing the tax return wrong, it's not worth those problems. It's not worth those potential extra penalty, potential interest, potential extra tax. It is not worth those problems. It could save you money by actually hiring someone if you know that it's going to be a problem or a stressor for you to file it on your own. Okay. But if you enjoy it, you enjoy the numbers, you're a numbers person, you're a tax nerd or a numbers nerd, you get a little excited about it, and you're organized, you have a straightforward situation, then it might be the right move to do it yourself. Okay. So again, if all those four things describes you, then go ahead, file it yourself. You feel secure, you feel confident about it, go forward. But if anything I just said makes you go, I don't know, dang, then keep watching, okay? Because the rest of this video is for you. So here's when it makes sense to hire somebody, to hire a CPA. There's 5 ways to know. Number 1, your tax situation is complicated. And what is complicated? You have multiple income streams, right? You have investments, you have the corporation, you have your spouse. They got their stuff going on, right? You have capital gains, you have rental property, you have all these income streams going on. Let's say you also have employees. You have employees that are on payroll, or even if you have 1099 contractors, or again, if you're an S Corp, a C Corp, or you're thinking of becoming a corporation, you have rental properties. Basically, if your taxes involve more than just a simple, okay, I made money, I spent some money, here's my profit, and that's it, then you probably need more help because you have a lot more going on. That's the first thing to know. The second thing is, if you're not organized, don't be messing around with taxes. Please, please. Okay. If you haven't been tracking your expenses all year long, then filing your own taxes is going to be a nightmare and it's not worth it. You're going to be digging up bank statements, receipts, trying to remember what that $47 charge from Amazon was 9 months ago. That's so stressful. It's so freaking stressful. It makes me want to pull my hair out. And I don't want that for you. A CPA can help you make sense of all of that chaos. But I will say though, like if you're going to hire a CPA, you should still get organized. Still get organized. I've been known to charge a little bit extra for people who don't have it together because you're bringing that chaos to me and you're making me figure it out. And I'll do it. But again, there might be a premium, there might be an upcharge because of that. So if you can stay organized, it's important whether you do your taxes yourself or not. And I have videos that talks about how to stay organized all year long so it's not chaotic come tax time. Number 3, the third thing to know is you want to maximize your deductions. If you want to maximize your deductions, then you need to work with a tax nerd, okay? Here's the thing. Tax software is good. They're going to try to bring you from A to Z. That's great. But the thing about software is that it's not human. The way that we think, the way that we can understand nuance, most of us, a software is not going to be able to ask you certain questions, especially if something feels like, wait, I need more information. The software may not be programmed to go as deep as a CPA who is thorough, a CPA who is naturally curious and is going to ask you those questions. I haven't looked at TurboTax or any of those types of software in years. It's been a while. And I know AI is coming up and getting better and smarter. And so it might be able to ask you questions such as, did you take any business trips this year? Or are you working from home? It might be able to start you on the path of asking those questions. But imagine if you give it a nuanced answer. Is he going to know how to take you through it and to report that information on the tax return? Who knows? I don't know. I'm a CPA and I don't know what the software will do. But a CPA, I know that I can ask you those questions and I know the type of answer that I am looking for. And based on the answer that you provide, I know how to put it on the return. I know how to report it. And so a CPA is going to make sure that you're not leaving money on the table. That's huge. That's huge. Oftentimes, that alone is worth the investment. Number 4, you don't have time or mental energy to deal with it. Okay. Tax season is stressful. It's stressful for CPAs. So it's stressful for many of us, all of us. And so if you'd rather pay someone to handle it so that you can focus on your business, your life, then that alone is a valid reason to hire a CPA because your time, your peace of mind is worth it. It's so worth it. In fact, I don't even do my own tax return. I hire out because for me, getting started is like the hardest part. But once it's there, then I can look at it and review and get it to the final end. And I know that about myself. So I'm going to have someone to get it started for me. So know who you are, know your personality, and make it make sense to you. Okay. Because honestly, when it comes to hiring versus not hiring, it's really truly more than about money. And I've mentioned a lot of the different reasons why you might choose to hire versus not hire a CPA. Okay. And the fifth reason that you might want to hire is you're scared that you'll mess it up. This is huge. This alone is very important to acknowledge because if the idea of filing your own taxes makes you want to throw your laptop, hire someone. Don't go through all of that because the stress isn't worth it. Like life is meant to be lived, to be enjoyed. And so why would we cause that type of stress on ourselves? We're bringing that to ourselves when there's an easy solution. Okay. So if any of that resonates with you, then you know your answer. Hire a CPA. So now let's talk about money. Okay. Filing the return yourself, that means you're going to be using a software, and a software usually costs like $50 to $150, depending on your business structure and what package you get and what company you end up getting your software with, the software that you actually use. And so when you think about it, okay, 50 to 150, that's pretty affordable. Now, when it comes to hiring a CPA, hiring a human being, a human being is going to cost more than a software. And so, generally, again, if it's more on the simpler side of things, you're going to be paying $500 to $2,000. It could be more. It could be more depending on what firm you're working with, what city or state you live in. Okay. Depending on how complex your tax situation is, because if you're a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, then your business is part of your personal return. So that's one return. But if you're a corporation, now you're filing a corporate return and you're going to have your personal return, right? So that's two returns. So as a corporation, you're going to already by default be paying more. So you can pretty much double those fees. In fact, once upon a time, I didn't do a corporate return for less than $1,500. And with time, that number has just gone up. And the reason is I don't just do a tax return. I'm building a long-term relationship with you. So we're doing tax planning, we're doing tax strategy. I'm meeting with you multiple times a year. It's not just a tax return. So working with me as a corporation, minimum is going to be closer to five figures. And again, that's not just a tax return. So you got to know what you want, the type of firm you're working with, because all the firms that were not created equal. Joe Schmo across the street might be a CPA, but Joe's fee is not going to be the same as my fee, especially if Joe only does tax returns. So you can pay Joe $1,000 for a tax return, but if you're coming my way, you're not paying for a tax return. You're paying for planning services, advisory services, and I just so happen to include tax filing in the service that I offer. Okay. So you want to ask those types of questions when you're hiring for a CPA. And I have a video of what to ask when you're hiring for a CPA. So check that video out. And again, a CPA, yes, it costs more, but when you think about a CPA, think about what you're paying for. I just kind of said some things about what I do and how a software is not going to offer you that. Okay. You're paying for someone who knows tax code, someone who knows how and to maximize your deductions, maximize your savings. You're paying for someone who can answer your questions. Honestly, these days, with all the technology and the AI bots and the chat bots, sometimes I'm like, dang, can I just speak to a human? Like, I would literally pay to speak to a human. Like, does that really happen to you too? Whether it's taxes or legal stuff or your phone bill. Like, Verizon, can I talk to a human? Not to get off topic, but literally that alone is just priceless these days. Hey, imagine that peace of mind that you get because you're talking to a human and just the intricacies of emotions and like you see my voice throughout this videos. Wow, that's engaging versus AI that's like, want, do this, do that. Like, where's the experience? I want the experience. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here's my take on it. Again, if you're just starting out, your taxes are simple, you're organized, go ahead, file it yourself, save the money. You're organized and you're confident. That part, you're confident to do it yourself. Don't just do it yourself because you're listening to this video. No, no, no. I'm not giving you advice. This is not tax advice. I'm just giving you some ideas, okay? And if your business is growing, then your taxes are getting complicated. And that's a beautiful thing to celebrate. And that means you're ready. You're ready for a CPA, okay? So here's what I want you to know. If you're going to hire somebody, make sure that they're credentialed. Not everybody who calls himself a tax preparer is qualified. Ideally, you want to look for someone who has CPA or enrolled agent behind their name. And the beautiful thing about that is a CPA, they're going to be licensed by the state that they are active in. So I'm in California, so you can actually go to the California Board of Accountancy and look up CPAs. Check to see if their licensure is active, if it's current. Check to see if they're on the list, if they're a CPA. Same thing with enrolled agent, an EA, enrolled agent. They're licensed with the IRS. That's the IRS certification. And so I believe the IRS on their website, you can look up enrolled agents. And again, make sure that they're active, that they're actually who they say they are. They are an EA. These are the two people, a CPA and an EA. These are the people who are licensed. We literally have to take continuing education in order to stay on top of tax law changes. Every year we're taking continuing education. And so we're going to be the people who generally knows what to do when there's a new president and the tax law changes or randomly changes, right? Just on a whim, because that it happens. It always happens. We're used to this. Okay. So if someone is not certified, that's a red flag. That is truly a red flag. If you're going to do it yourself, make sure that you're doing it right. And if you're going to hire somebody, make sure that they're qualified. Okay. So, whether you file yourself or you end up hiring a CPA, here's what you need to do. Make sure you're not missing out on any tax write offs. So, good news. I've created a free resource called the Ultimate Tax Write Off Checklist, and it's for entrepreneurs who want to get smart about their taxes. In this checklist, it breaks down 7 deductions that smart entrepreneurs like you are probably leaving on the table. So, things like home office, your car, professional development, all of it. You can grab your free checklist in the link below in the description. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I want you to leave a comment below. Let me know what next topic you would like me to talk about. Okay. You can list them all. Tell me everything. I want to know because I post videos like this every week. And I can't wait to talk about the topic that you want me to talk about. So until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.